So I'm just going to do a quick review on the Busch Pyramid Christmas windmill thingy. As you can see here, let me adjust some light to get it a little better for you. Now I've done some modifications because out of the box I didn't like the lights. They were, I think they were actually incandescent, but they were the size of LEDs. And yeah, so my set is designed to run off LEDs. So I just put in some LEDs, which is pretty easy. In lieu of the other bulbs. And then additionally on top of that, I actually took Bondic, which is a liquid kind of gel that you put out and it never hardens until you use this UV light on it. And I did that on top to kind of give manufacturer some flames look. Let me see if it doesn't want me to zoom. Oh, there we go. So you can kind of see it. It's just, so it's whatever you make out of it. So I just put like flashing bulbs and breathing bulbs in there. But anyway, it's decent. It comes together pretty well. It's very fragile, especially these, and they give you extras. Well, you can see one, I put super glue on there, and it wasn't the greatest job. I've broken them off quite a few times because I'll be working on something else and I'll always bump it, and they're so fragile they just break right off. And the problem is if you super glue them in, then, you can't really replace it very easy. So what I did on the last one I broke off, which you can see right here, was I took some pliers and I took the little remnant that was left in there, which is just like the little stick that you can kind of see there. I just kind of jiggled it and got it to pull out, even though it was glued in there with wood glue. So then my workaround was, I have some fiber optics laying around, and I was like, well, why don't I put some fiber optic on the back? Let me see if you can get my hand in view here. You know, or something. It could be fishing line or a little tiny piece of wood or whatever. And I put it on the back and I used super glue. The problem, I mean, it might be okay alone, but the problem with super glue a lot of the times is as soon as it gets touched, then it'll just break off of there. But then it would be okay as long as this tip is in there, because it's this rod that's the shortcoming of the other ones, because they're just a flimsy wood here. So now I've replaced that with a plastic one that's certainly not going to break. So if it breaks, it would break off at the connection here and be easy to put it back on. But then the kind of little big, well, I don't know if it's much of a secret, but I didn't realize it until recently. If you apply baking soda, it basically turns it into like a concrete, and it'll break, you know, the whole item will break before the bond will break, which was always my previous challenge with super glue. Was, yeah, it was quick to adhere, but then as soon as you touch it, it would still break off. So apparently now if I touch it, it's more likely to break the whole thing rather than the rest of it, and that would have to be a pretty brutal hit. So that's my little fix. And you can see with this, then I can just stick that right on in. And then so what I'll do is I'll just put wood glue in there. Watch me break off another one. Yeah, well, I'll balance it out and glue it in. But what's also nice about it is because it's round, it's a little thicker, and the other ones are flat. So when you try and put them in, they always just want to fall and sag. So there's a little better solution. So I just recommend, if you happen to break it off, do something like that and save yourself the time of not having to fix it again over and over, because I think that's what's happened with this one and why it really looks kind of bad. But overall, it's a pretty neat little piece. It's just a bunch of flat wood that you just kind of break off or cut off the little cards, because it's all kind of like laser cut. And I didn't need to paint anything. I like it as is. Works for me. Yep, hopefully that helped. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. I'm out.